Hello, hello, hello. My name is Richard Miller. School Shoutout. Today is January the 18th, 2026. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I know it's rough out there right now. Excuse me. And we all trying to hold on and build up and do things. Uh, Myself, I'm doing a lot better than what I was doing earlier. Look like there's always something come up to stop you, to hold you back, where you can't seem to move ahead. But no, you keep on pushing. Keep on pushing each and every day. We always got some type of little stone or something drop on your lap or on your knees where you can't get up and move around like you should. Well, I'm not physically, but something to hold you down. That's all I'm saying. So don't let that stop you. Keep going. My main interest is generating people that finish high school, diploma, GED, dropped out. The last year you was in high school that you dropped out, the last year you was in high school. And when you call in, you say the name of your school, the city, the town, or the state. So everybody knows exactly what state or city or town is located, but especially the state. Then I say the year or two. If I didn't, I'll mention two. That's what I'm looking for. I think it'll be fun. Especially, I'm just not looking for older people, younger people. I want everyone who has finished high school. Like I say, graduated, GED, or dropped out. That's your last year of high school. Call in and shout your school out. Man, I'm just looking at how this government now is running and operating. Man, we are, I don't know. We got to figure out something. We got to do something to better ourselves. I don't mean nothing illegal. I want you, when you do something, you can just walk up and down the street without any problem. Think about somebody will come and pick you up later or something like that because you've done something wrong. No, you don't want to do anything that should scare you. But you want to do something to build yourself. It takes more than one person a lot of times. You need someone you can talk to, get information from. They kind of show you the next step to make. A lot of us make that mistake, think we can do things on our own. Very, very, very few of us can move ahead without help. I'm going to say at least 95% of the people in this world who have started a business had help. Ideal. We got to write it up so you can have something to look at. You can present a proposal to someone. This is what I'm going to do. This is the way things are going to go, all like that. That's got to be done. But I tell you another thing we need to do too. It's the same form. You gotta get help, but people live in certain areas. We say a lot of people say we don't want the government in our business. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes 90% of us made. Because if you live in an area, you got potholes, got front steps knocked out, back steps knocked out. That's what we got the government for. And people building organizations in the area to keep things, to build the houses and the area back up. That's what the government's for. I'm going to use this as an example. Like, black family moving to a white area. You look how it's maintained, kept up, and everything. As long as still majority white area, there. There's only a few blacks that keep the area up. That's the city, state, all that. That's money they are putting into it to keep it going. But once that area become, we'll say 95% black, they stop putting money into the area. So we need to know how to go to our city and our state. Hey, you got to put money back in our area. We need this money to keep our houses going, our streets up, sewage corrected when it rains, back up and all like that. We need people that, we need the groups, how they can get together and research into these things that keep our area up. Whether city or the state put money back into your area. They still have, very few of us know this, but they have block grants. And it goes off what you make a year. So I don't know what when I first found out about it, it was $45,000 a year. And later on, it dropped down to $35,000 a year. That's block grant, money. If you only make a certain amount of money in the house. Now, I don't know what it is if it's two. I don't know how much it breaks down. They got the blank grant, and then they got the what? It's another one at home. Home improvement grant. A block grant and a home improvement grant. People need to look that up. You need windows, roofs, doors. Those grants are out there. You just got to know how to, go to your little congressmen and all that stuff in your area. Find out, hey, how can I get some of this grant money to fix my house up? My back porch is falling down. My roof is leaking. My windows are out. I need doors. My floors are rotting out. They got grant money out there for you. But you got to know how to go out there and find it. 95% of us do not know how to find the grant money. It's for every state in the United States. Little towns and cities and all that stuff. Each state got grant money they give to the town and the city for the people to know how to write it up and get that grant money, get their homes fixed up. And I don't know if it's a certain age where you might be, no matter how much you make, they can still step in and help you. But a lot of us need to find that out. How to use that grant money to build your area back up. I know when I first moved in my area, I was. Now, I was about the third moving in the area, but on my first 3 or 4 blocks I moved in, I was the only black. But at the time I moved in, I wasn't thinking about moving in the white area. That was the last thing I was thinking about. We just out looking for a house. We found it late one evening. Real estate agent found it. And not realizing it was still, at that time it was at 98%, still white. So we found the house and we put in for it. Maybe 3 weeks went by, or whatever it was. It wasn't that long, but we was approved and everything, got everything fixed up, And man, when we finally got in the house, the people that left the house, they let the dogs, I'm going to just say the word shit all in the house. That's just the way it is. Piss all in the house. Man, we walked in, it was smelling. Oh, man, it was smelling. You didn't want no one to come in. It smelled like a dishwasher wasn't working, had water all built up. You open it up, like dead egg smell just running through the house. Man, but I didn't know anything about the block grant at that time. But my house needs painting real bad. Around the top, so I missed all it because we kept coming in at night, and that's a bad thing for anyone to do, look at a house at night. You need to look at it night and day and drive out, look around, see the neighborhood, how many children and all that stuff in the neighborhood. We all need to know how to do that better. I can tell this now because I went through it. So, but anyhow, I was about oh, 2 or 3, honestly, about close to a year went by. My house needed painting all around the outside and all like that. I got a call. Said, Mr. Miller, we got a pallet. That's what exactly what it said. We got a pallet of paint for you. You can come and pick it up. I said to myself, I ain't know how to any paint. Where does paint come from? I was scared to go get it. Because I said I didn't order anything, so I'm not going to get something that I don't really know anything about. But some kind of way the people in there, it was still all white just about then. They knew how to fix it up where they can send paint to your home for you to paint your house yourself. But I never did go pick that paint up because I had never heard of anyone giving out a pallet full of paint. Those old wooden pallets like that. It told me exactly what it was. Man, I was scared. I didn't know about this. Now, I put in quite a bit, put down quite a bit on my house. And I was really running shook. I would put down enough to try to, bring the notes down and all like that. We had, enough to make it with, but it was just, it was rough. It was rough. And my wife ended up, place she was working, I think they laid off or something. And there I was, stuck with it by myself. We went into it together. Man, but things worked out. We paid that house note. Utility, we didn't make a lot of bills. We just struggled with what we had. And we made it through, and as time went by, maybe a couple of years went by, I was making enough to pay the house note myself. Didn't need any help. Because I worked at it. But there's so many things we can do in our area. As time went by, I got a little 3.5 acres behind my house. And I saw a few people out there gardening. So I went out there and talked to them about it, So, let me back up a little bit on that. Saw them out there gardening, so I put a few tomatoes out in my yard. And I had a bunch of trees behind there. I had a nice sized yard. Had a bunch of trees back there. Before the sun come up, tomatoes were getting quite a bit of sun. But as the trees started filling out more and more, the tomatoes was not getting any sun. They just would not make it. But didn't know anything about gardening. I was just trying something. But then I went out there one day and talked to one of the guys about a little bitty spot, looked like about 4 feet by 4 feet, little spot like that. Might have been 4 by 8, but I know it's small. So I started gardening. Things was rough. I started growing, tomatoes, cucumbers, sweet potatoes. That was it. Then I got to the point I got a huge spot. I got my hands on oh man. Ended up getting a spot 70 by 80. 70 feet by 80 feet. And I really started putting the garden out. I would advise anybody, anytime, put your garden out if it's possible. You might be able to put 5-gallon buckets on the porch if you don't have like the space I've got right now. I got a huge spot. But if you're gonna only put just 5-gallon buckets on your porch, on the back front porch, some you can grow. At least start out with tomatoes. You can even grow Irish potatoes, sweet potatoes. The white potatoes and Irish potatoes. But a lot of people call them white potatoes or little reds or whatever, russets, all of that. You'll grow them in a 5-gallon bucket. But I got to the point that I could grow corn, greens, turnip, mustard, lettuce. This one I have a time, Swiss chard, and kale. I grow all those, enough to feed my whole family had enough for the next year. That, I had zucchini squash. I like that pretty good. Uh, Bush beans, like a string bean. Put those out. Butter beans, lima, baby lima. Put those out. English peas. I put, oh man, I had enough room with, but a couple of rows out, and they like 80 feet long, 70 feet, 60 feet long, like that. And I could grow a lot of it. We put those up in the freezer. And that's where I got started. So, you got to start small. You can, like I say, in the neighborhood, if you can, if people get together, start a community garden. There's a lot of things we can do for us. I know I'm jumping all over, but I'm just trying to let people know things are rough right now. You go to the grocery store. I'm going to say you're just the retired people alone. You got some people that still working and still only making like maybe $2,500 a month. Some people are making up to about $3,000 a month. And but when you retire, that money drops. So you don't get that much. So you got to work out a way to build yourself, fix yourself where you can have your own garden, but you can still pay your utility bill, your taxes, and all that stuff, because all that takes a lot of money. And the utility bills right now, the sewer bill, man, it's jumped out. The water bill just jumped out of sight. The Emerald UE, man, Spire, man. Can we afford TV now? That's even too high. And every time we turn around, somebody's going up, say we gotta have extra money. Then they have taxes come up. Well, we're just gonna add another $1 a month for this. That's all you gonna make. But every time you turn around, $1 here, $1 there. Before you know it, you done added up quite a bit. Fire department, you want to have that. Sewer come around and say, well, we got to have this extra money because we got to redo the sewage system. So there you go, extra money come out. So it takes a lot of money. And it takes a family to where if you're single, you do it by yourself. But it takes a family and have, 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 children. You really got to work hard and grow what you can early and find a spot in your basement or somewhere cool spot. You can store like potatoes and things like that. They'll stay a year. Garlic, onions will stay in a cool spot. Those things you can grow and put up to the side. No, think about what you can do. But always, whatever you can, go to the government. Find out how you can get money to help yourself, the people in the neighborhood, your neighbors. It's money out there for it, but 90% of us do not know where to look or start looking. Some people been using it for years, but never share. They want you to think they're doing things all by themselves. They want to look good, like they're making it. We say like the block grant money. Some people are doing bad, and you find out, you tell them about the block grant. Man, before you know it, they got new siding, new windows, and all that stuff put in. And they don't pass. You don't have to know their business, but they can pass that information on to someone else. But once they get theirs done, they get quiet. They don't want to share. That's the only way people in the neighborhoods can make it. Because you have to work in your neighborhood to get ahead. We need the fire department, the police department. We need a lot of that stuff. We pay all that extra pay coming out. So you need taking out enough now for Social Security when you're still young enough to be working. Before you retire, you're taking out so much money for Social Security. So when you retire, you can get some of that money back. It's a lot we got to, talk to people about. If you got to financial lawyer or something like that, or someone take care of your taxes that really know how to do taxes and tell you about tax breaks and tell you about all those different things. That's what we all need, someone that knows, we'll say, politics. Look around in your neighborhood. See what you can do where your neighborhood can still be a beautiful place to live. And a lot of people, you see someone in the neighborhood that's constantly, we'll say, a drug dealer. We all holler about, I can't be no snitch. But your neighborhood's going down. Somebody got to tell something. Even if you write an anonymous letter to the right department, so they'll know where they can start looking and watching. Help keep your neighborhood clean. Nobody have to know. No, you don't tell. Nobody know. A lot of us don't keep our mouth closed. We tell too much. But we got to do things to keep our neighborhood clean, healthy to live in. Everybody want to got a good neighborhood and let it go down like that because you're too scared to tell, or I'm not a snitch. No, that don't work. So everybody got to work together. Work together. You see something going on, you might just drop a letter in their mailbox or anything. The neighborhood is watching now. You got to stop what you're doing. They don't know what it is. Have it typed up so they can't, your hand, writing it up some kind of way. Just let them know to be careful. Y'all, what y'all doing need to stop. There's ways to do things without, everybody knowing what you're doing to keep your neighborhood clean. Man, but like I say, get back. I'm looking for people who graduated. Graduated, got their GED, or dropped out. This is Richard Middle School Shoutout. Call in. Shout your school out. I keep thinking about it. Matter of fact, I get kind of lost sometimes, and I don't push the little button to make the number pop up where just strolling by where you can see it and call in and shout your school out. Go to my go YouTube, look up Richard Miller, leave a little note in there. We can take that. Do what you can. I would appreciate that so much. If I can find someone to really work with me, and man, we can make this podcast work better. We got people two people can be talking on the podcast at one time. You don't even have to be in my ear. We be in two different areas. We can connect, With this phone system, you can do a lot. Connect to each other, be on the same podcast at the same time, talking about different things, call out different schools. Some schools have disappeared. And school you graduated from, that building might be gone. So you might know a few other people, that's what school I attended, school I graduated from. I'm talking about high school now. But if you're going to name your grade school, once you call out your high school where you finish, stuff like that, if you decide you want to call out your grade school, that's possible. If you went through high school and you went on, finished college, or you started college and dropped out, you can tell a little bit about that. That gives us something to talk about. So let's all work together, see what we can do. I'm gonna be more conscious on what I'm doing. Appear on here more and more, at least a couple of times a week. We're gonna talk about different things, but the main thing is high school we're talking about. Once you get that part taken care of, like I say, you got other high school, grade school you want to talk about, but you have to be finished high school, graduated, GED, or dropped out the last year. This is Richard Middle School Shoutout. Shout your school out. A A lot of us are proud of ourselves. A lot of us say, well, I wasn't that smart. It's not the idea. Nobody don't have to know how smart you were or how slow you were, but you made it through there. That's the main. A lot of us don't do that. We just give up and stop trying. You know, you tell your story, might encourage somebody else, you know, hey, I'm going to go and finish high school. That's what we're here for. Richard Miller School Shoutout. You know, just type up Richard Miller School Shoutout, YouTube. Leave me a little note. Well, I'll be happy to see that. This is Richard Miller. Today is January the 18th, 2026. Yeah, I'll be talking to you later.